Hello everyone, and today we are going to make an Irish coffee. I think for both of us, this is one of our favorite drinks that contains both coffee and alcohol. The other thing I really like about it is it is super easy to make. We have designed this so that even if you don't have a fancy cocktail setup, you will still be able to make something really delicious and really tasty. Let's walk through the ingredients, we'll walk through the equipment, and then we will make one. So our first ingredient is the coffee. For this one, we have actually chosen a less fruity coffee. This is a Guatemalan coffee. It has lots of notes of caramel and nut. We think these are really comforting flavors that work really well, both with whiskey and with cream. Any sort of Guatemalan, Brazilian type coffee is going to be really good in this drink. And we brewed this at a ratio of 15:1. We used 20 grams of coffee and 300 grams of water. That's all the coffee you'll need for this recipe to make one drink. Next up, we have our whiskey. I've really enjoyed local whiskeys lately. I think the scene right now is amazing. The value is really good for local made whiskeys just because there's less transport. There's actually less markup on them. This one is from Eau Claire, but I would recommend any local Canadian whiskey. I know it's not Irish whiskey, but it's still super, super tasty. We did something a little bit different and fun for our sweet component. So this is actually panela sugar. You can get it at any sort of Latin food market. We've chosen this for two reasons. So one, I think it's really cool to be able to taste flavors that are common and a big part of the culture of coffee producing countries. Panela in Colombia is sort of a staple. They had put it in their coffee. They actually just drink like panela sugar and water as a drink as well. So I like that because it lets you sort of taste some of the flavors that we taste when we travel to coffee producing countries. The other reason I really like it is it adds like a really dark, rich sweetness. It adds a bit of a raisin note to all the drinks that we make with it as well. You should go and find some even if you're not going to put it in this drink. And lastly, we have heavy cream. You can use whipping cream as well. Either one will work. So all easily accessible ingredients, and let's build a cocktail. So first of all, we're going to add 1 ounce of whiskey. I already have brewed this coffee. I have 10 grams of panela sugar. We mixed it all up there. Some cocktail recipes have you make like a simple syrup. For me personally, when I make a simple syrup, I make one drink and then it sits in the fridge for the rest of the year. So I like just mixing it in. If you want to make a simple syrup, you can totally do that. But for now, I just like adding sugar and mixing it up. We pop it in the cup.
I'm gonna leave lots of room for cream.
Perfect. And then here's an example of trying to make everything accessible if you don't have a fancy cocktail setup. You could use a cocktail shaker. I have here a thermos. I have about 1/3 of a cup of heavy cream in here. You could even just use a mason jar to make sure the lid's on really good. Any of these things will work. And so now I'm gonna just shake this really vigorously for roughly 30 seconds. You'll cut this, right? I hope it's not butter. If you don't cut this, I'm gonna kill you. So it's all shooken up. Sometimes there'll be some larger bubbles, so you can just tap those out. It doesn't really make a huge difference, but it'll make your Irish coffee look nicer. If you want it to look really clean, what you're gonna do is take the back of a spoon, put it really close to the surface. You can even rest it there, and then you're gonna pour that cream right on top. Do you wanna have a sip?
Do I ever? Delicious.